We're joined today by Kathryn Browning, the published poet author.
Yes, indeed.
And you've been coming to the exhibition and
yes, I have.
popping some poems up for us that I've been reading and had the pleasure of. So what inspired you to pop along, and was it the other artwork? Or?
I came to visit the other artwork, and I also wanted to see other poets.
Yeah.
And I looked at all the other poets, and I was a bit reluctant, but I did bring a poetry book with me.
Yeah.
And I showed somebody here, and they said
By
that
all
it was
means.
fine.
Yeah.
That
That's great.
they were fine, and we photocopied 5
Right.
and put 5 up at the exhibition.
Yeah.
And I've been in from time to time to have a look at them, look at the others. It's a fantastic exhibition. I think it's very relaxing, and you can just sit here and read the poems, and of course, and look at the pictures. So I think it should be an annual event, really.
Right. Okay. You're going to. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, and one more thing about. You're going to read a poem of yours
Yes.
for us, Kathryn.
When I write, I write what I think it's about. Not serious, not funny, but in the middle. They always rhyme, and I think life is one long song. Right. So I wrote a poem about it.
Oh, lovely.
This poem is called Life Song. Listen to the song of life as days go by. Sometimes it's loud, then soft, you wonder why. Life is cruel to some, over and over again. Possibly someone somewhere thinks that they can take the strain. To be brave and silent, courage is needed to see one through. Whispering, I can manage, not much to do. Notice should be taken of this silent band, pushed aside by the noisy, complaining and demanding, completely out of hand. Some days the life song makes you swell with pride. Happiness it seems far and wide. Suddenly the life song changes, chaos and upset causing a din. As time passes, it is harder to say, I will win. Survive on the happy times, future songs may be dark. Eventually, when the song goes silent, leave your mark. I have 2 self-publishing books. They are called A Little Bit of Me and A Little Bit of Life. And they are by me, Kathryn Browning. They are available from W.H. Smith's, and they have to order them because they don't keep them in stock. There's also a copy of one of them in Southbourne Library.
I was walking down the road, I met Sarge. He tried to offer me his harmonica, so I went straight up to him and I said, here you are, have some of this. Whoa! And I headbutted him and he fell over and cracked his head and swallowed his harmonica. Next I carried on, and I carried on walking down this road, and guess what? I saw a very tall lady. She was 6'1", with very long blonde hair. She came up to me and she said, do you want to date me? I said, no, you're too tall. So have some of this. So I pulled it down by her hair and went, big butts! And she fell over and cracked her head. Thank you. And I carried on walking, and I met an old man with a suitcase. I'd got hold of his suitcase, opened it up, threw all the stuff all over the place, and then shouted at him, here, have some of this. Big butts! Whoa! And he fell over and cracked his head. I carried on walking, and I met an old lady. One thing you don't do with an old lady and a Zimmer frame is you go up and try and chat to them. Because one thing they're going to do is pick up that Zimmer frame, swing it around like that, and suddenly go, you are having this, big butts, and now I'm in hospital. Thank you. I've been the poet. Hi. Have a good night.
The piece behind me has come from Sarge, which was found as a photograph after many hours of looking at photographs, looking for a particular image for a poem. Quite a powerful, deep poem about the state the world's in, and yeah, there's a lot of people talking about that at the moment. And Sarge, thank you so much for inviting us to Metal Fatigue today. Talk about your artwork. Yeah. And, basically, when I first came across you was through Grant David Reed and Simple Arts Collective.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I hadn't heard of Sarge up until that point, but there were some paintings and artwork on the wall in there, and I'm looking at it, and some of it, yeah. And Grant explained who Sarge was, and one day this Transmutants turned up with a big headset and a microphone. Not sure whether we were being scared by it or artwork, whatever. And yeah, then by sheer fluke of luck, I came across the picture that Grant had taken of the skeleton. Yeah. Whilst looking for images to suit with poems and stuff, and you very kindly let us use it, and it's in the exhibition. And
well, the skeleton came from it's a strange one actually, because I've got this huge stockpile of old computers.
Right.
Some of them work, some of them don't. And one day I was going through some of them, and they were just absolutely, you know, rotten to the core. These things, they're just broken. So I basically just went, right, I'm going to make something out of them, because I can't throw anything away.
Yeah.
Terrible. I'm such a hoarder. It's incredible. So I got hold of a couple of pieces of wood and decided to make a crucifix out of it, and and actually put all of the motherboards all the way up it. And I was like, right, what I need for this is I need something really crazy. So I just bought a really cheap plastic skeleton from the internet,
right.
Which only cost me 30 quid.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. And the cable ties.
The cable ties, I'm a bit addicted to cable ties.
Yeah.
I've got a cable tie addiction.
When we picked the crucifix up and put it in the back of the van, the skull was up in the grips, and that was quite freaky as well.
Yeah, I had to put it somewhere. The skull was in my studio,
right.
You know, whilst it was in storage. But so I had to sort of like put it together from all over the place.
We had a little bit of stress as well with the library, because the library didn't want us to put it on main display because the symbolism of the crucifix. And we had agreed that it would go on a white wall, and we were really grateful for the library. And letting us do it. And like I said earlier, watching people walk around that corner and discover a skeleton on the wall.
I'm surprised that nobody's vandalised it.
Yeah.
Some Christian fundamentalists.
So just going back to
really
yeah.
fed up with me.
Just going back to the value, and 30 quid and the boards and cable ties. The whole project, how much do you think?
The whole project, I think the whole project cost me, I would say probably around 100 quid, but it's.
Yeah.
Some of the computers, obviously, because I have to keep moving my studio and moving my workshops and lockups, it's cost me loads and loads of money in transport
and storage.
I haven't even started doing all the stuff with the monitor screens yet.
When when the whole idea of the exhibition came about, the first question I asked Grant was, do you think Sarge is going to let us use his skull, his crucifix, and do you think the library will let us do it? And he says, well, there's no reason they shouldn't. And Brian explained it in the way that the electronics is consuming us and take us over, and that's the way because the library weren't originally going to entertain the idea.
Well, I call it Cyber Christ, and it's like, I don't know where I'm going with it. I mean, personally, I don't actually know where I'm going with it. But it's interesting to find out what everybody else thinks about it. Yeah. It's like everybody's, there's so many strokey beard people going, oh yes, the artist thinks this, and I'm not. It's just, I'm like, I'm interested to find out. Because I just sort of like slap things together and in a sort of like sensationalist way. Yeah, this is a collaged wallpaper. I basically just I print out straight from the internet. Through I've got like a toner cartridge printer, and just collage the whole lot together. Yeah, and because this is from a folder that I've got called the Danza Macabre, where it's just collected stuff of death basically. Yeah. And I actually do the same thing with my canvases. So all my canvases are actually sort of like bits pulled off the internet and then collaged on Photoshop. Right. And then printed out as big as I can.
So really modern techniques with.
Yeah, these ones here that are up on the wall, they're actually sort of like from a group of a sort of a grouped piece of artwork that I've got called Traveller, where it's like a big table and it lies and loads and loads of artifacts all over it. And it's the actual movement of the artifacts over the years. I'm completely into my science fiction, so it's all about time travel and steampunk.
What's next?
Next, I'm actually doing a show on Sunday called Pandora's Box, and I'm going to be doing a show based around the films Pandorum and Aliens, where I'm actually going to be sort of like sneaking around in this cabaret thing, dressed as a space marine. So colonial marine. I've got the gun, the works. It sounds
good.
And my friend Alexis is going to be doing a full body suspension, but he's going to be sort of dressed up sort of like an avatar. So we have this sort of like very strange. I'm going to be using all the just claustrophobic music from both films, and just seeing how it goes. I've never really sort of like thought of crossing science fiction with full body live performance suspension, but I'm going to try it. Excellent.
Okay, thank you very
No
much.
worries.
Cheers, Sarge.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time
and
today.
thank you for letting me put my artwork up in the library.
Yeah,
So,
no,
yeah, it's
thank
cool.
you so much for being part of it.
No worries. And I hope that you do get another exhibition somewhere else, and I hope you can put some stuff up as well.
Yeah, we'll do.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.